Okay. What if they call me? Why are we not live?
We are live for yeah.
Okay.
We are. I can see from here.
Why are we not live?
We are live for yeah.
Okay.
We are. I can see from here.
It's not as if we're
Are,
experimenting stuff. Okay, so
are we good?
we, yeah, I believe we are good. I can view it from here on my desktop. It looks like we are good. How is the sound? Are you hearing me clearly?
Yeah, I can hear it clearly.
Okay, so if you are joining us again, welcome. And if this is your first time, also you are welcome. You're welcome to my channel, and you're welcome to the second part of the Junior Dev series. And if you're not aware, the Junior Dev series is a series where I interview um, junior developers. And I know I say developers, and I'm coming back to address that. But I interview junior developers, and they basically share the tips that worked for them in landing their first full time job. And yeah, I know I said developers, but the best word to use is should I say tech people or people into tech. So it could be
Thank you.
developers, it could be designers, it could be cyber securities, it could be all of this tech. Oh yeah, I'm getting a call. So I am sorry. I have a delivery which I was not expecting, and they're currently downstairs. So please give me a few minutes. I'm sorry about the inconveniences, but just give me a few minutes to get that, and I'll join you guys soon. Okay. Victor, are you still there? Okay. So I
Yeah, I'm
don't
here.
know if I would be able to cut out the beginning part of the video. I've not tried that before for live videos, but hopefully I can, so I can remove that part for the people who are coming back to watch the playback. Well, I'm sorry about the inconvenience. I wasn't expecting any delivery, and then I just got the message. So please bear with me. And so I think I'll just give the intro again if I would be successful at cutting the beginning part. So if this is your first time here, this is a junior dev series, and this is the part two, where I'll be interviewing Victor, who is going to, of course, give us some information about himself in a few minutes. But yeah, this is a series where I interview junior developers, and not just developers. I feel like I should call the series Junior Tech People, but yeah, it's not just developers, it's designers, cyber security analysts, all of these fields that we have in tech. And the goal is for people to share tips that have worked for them, so that current junior developers can apply these tips and hopefully improve their job application process and land their first job. And like I said in the previous series, or in the previous part of the series, one thing I believe is getting the first job is usually like the most difficult, but once you scale through that part, it's almost like the remaining part of your tech career becomes slightly easier, because now you have valid proof of experience. Like, I've worked in this company, I've done this and I've done that. So yeah, scaling through that first part is the most difficult, and that's the purpose of this series, to share different tips and help everybody land good full-time jobs. And you can check out the first part, and you can check out the first part where I interviewed Fortune, who is currently a developer relations engineer, but his first job was a software engineering full-time job. He shared so many tips there, and I believe people learned a lot from that. So enough with the introduction. We're already 9 minutes past time, coming live. So let's jump onto what we have today. So today I have Victor Onazi. And Victor, do you mind giving some introduction about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Zillion, for even starting this wonderful series. I mean, it's a very, very interesting one. Like, very, very interesting series. Yeah, so about me, my name is Victor Onazi. I'm a product designer at Number. So Number is a fintech company that just help people provide financial services to people globally. Majorly our focus is Nigeria specifically. Yeah, not artists and all. So as a designer, I work with different stakeholders here. And apart from designing, I watch movies and I chill a lot. I guess that's all about me. Yeah.
Uh, okay, great. It's really nice having you, Victor, here to
Yeah. Thanks so much, Julian, for this opportunity. Yeah.
stealing 1 hour of your time for this. So, as some of you may already know, if you are not new, I have a list of questions here that I'll be asking Victor, and these questions are very specific to help us in our approach to applying to jobs. And after these questions, then you can also ask questions in the comment section. But I would recommend, or I would ask that you don't ask questions yet, so that your questions does not get lost. So you can just write your question down on a paper or on your phone or wherever, and then at the end of these questions I'll be asking Victor, then you can bring your own questions. So I don't think I'm missing any other thing again. You can check out the introduction to the series, and you can check out the interview with Fortune for more information. I don't want to repeat most of the things I may have already said. So, Victor, once again, it was really nice. It's really nice having you here to share this. And
It's
all,
a
I really
pleasure.
hope that junior designers, be it UI, UX, products, whatever the design field is, I really hope they're able to pick tips that they can apply uh, to their job search. So, Victor, without further ado, let's jump to question
Let's
one.
yeah.
And question one is, tell me a bit or tell us a bit about yourself and the work that you do.
Okay, so like I said, my name is Victor Onazi. I work at Number, which is a fintech company basically. And what I do, my day-to-day activities basically is just like me having to design, user interface, and talking to users. In a sense, as a product designer, I have to like talk to users in order to develop a particular platform for them. Basically, coming up with frames, user flows in order to just make things and make my users experience much more better. Yeah, as on the other end, I go ahead doing testing because as a product designer, I have to make sure my product are very, very useful. And at the other end, I make sure it goes out to the market and make sure that people actually use this. And also, yeah, I guess that's what I do daily. And I don't know if there's another thing I do. Yeah, yeah. And apart from that, yeah, I collaborate a lot. Yeah, one thing that's very important. I collaborate. I do a lot of collaborations, starting from the product manager to the developers, because in a company, yeah, it's like an iterating process in terms that I get to work with people collaboratively and all. So yeah, I guess that's what I do.
Okay. Oh, great. That's it feels like a lot, or is it just me?
Yeah. Yeah, it might sound overwhelming because of the fact that I had to break it down. But if you did not get anything, just know that I'm a product designer. That's what I do. And what product designer do is design user experience and user interface for users. So yeah.
Oh, nice. All right, that's great. Once again, Victor, the product designer who does so many things. So, jumping now to the questions, which are our main focus for the series, is what work were you doing? Okay, so just to clarify, a full time job that I'm referring to here is like the job where you were on salary, where you're getting paid monthly. It was a full time thing. You are full time employee of a company. I'm not referring
So
to
yeah,
contract or freelance or part
yeah.
time. So, what work were you doing before you got your first full time job? Were you a freelancer? Were you on Upwork? Or what were you doing?
Okay, so let me just like do like a background before I go into like what was I doing here, like a brief about me shortly. So before I even got into design, I was like a developer at first. And yeah, like we all know this saying that people say that you have to like hit everywhere before you particularly know the one that works for you specifically.
Mm,
So I was that kind of generalist. I mean, I was
um,
always trying to hit. And a friend of my mentor actually told me that the first time you get like your job, basically, that's like the one you should focus on because like the first paying, because that's one that will draw your attention to.
mm,
So on the other end, before I got into my first full time job, basically I was a freelancer, yeah, specifically doing basically free designs, and some
uh,
other times I get paid designs as well because I just wanted to build my portfolio right, and I
yeah.
wanted to have something people can actually see and say that yes, I'm capable of working for them. So yeah, that was what I was doing before I got my first full time job. Yeah,
So you were basically practicing doing free stuff and also getting clients for your
exactly.
design.
Yeah, yeah,
So did you
exactly. Yeah.
appoint while you were generalizing, going through different fields, did you make money from any other field or was it just design?
Mm, okay, yeah, I made a little bit of money, not like from some field, yeah, which is front end. Yeah, I made a little bit of money, but specifically design was like mind changing for me. I know I just loved it, and I
Oh,
just said I'm passionate about this. I want to go full time into this. I know, so that's why I just yeah. I guess it's time to settle for this. Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
okay, nice. So, question three. What? Okay, so I while you were looking for your first job, I don't know if you probably had so many rejections, but I think one of the decisions that you made was also focusing on product design, as you have also mentioned. Like after going through different places, and then you settled with product design. But I want to ask, what did you do differently? What do you feel you did differently that made you get your first job? What decision was that? Was it maybe building more project on Figma or on Dribble or that? Or were you reaching out to recruiters directly on LinkedIn or on Twitter? Or were you trying to build communities with friends so that they can refer you? Like, what was that thing you think really made the difference for you in landing your first job?
Yeah. Okay. So there are like a whole lot. Yeah. Yeah, a whole lot. But I'll just be specific about two. And those particular two really helped me. And like, I didn't really apply because I was gotten like I was contacted because of this stuff that I did. And this so one of it is putting myself out there in the sense that I had to like show people that this is what I can do. This is what I'm very good at. I know I was consistent in it in terms that I was just documenting my story. I know starting out might be very difficult and people might be really shy of posting out stuff they want to put out there because
Yeah.
people might just be scared of feedback. I know, but I was not that kind of person. Yeah, there's some part of my early days of my career where I got some negative feedback that what to even like make me decide that should I end this career of a thing or
Mm,
something like that. But I was still very, very eager in terms of putting myself out there and like always getting feedback. And I guess that is one thing I did differently that made me stood out. I know a lot of people put out their stuff out there, but I was actually consistent in the early days of my career. And I don't really do much of that again because and this putting myself out there got a lot of people reaching out to me in terms of, hey Victor, are you open for a job? Are you open for a freelance role? Are you open for this? Are you open for that? And yeah, I was really considering that, and people get to see that yes, this guy is really good at this. The second one I would like to say is building community in terms of with some little peers. Like it was still, you see, I try to put myself out there, like building myself in the sense that making sure that people know that I'm a product designer, yeah,
mm.
and people know that I'm actually good at it. So like using good use of social media and very, very well. And yeah, I did that very, very well and got me a lot of opportunities.
Nice. Just to clarify, your first job, the company reached out to you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. First should come very close to me.
Wow. So were you just using Twitter, or was there any other social media platform you were using to really share this, to really put yourself out there?
Majorly, I used Twitter like a lot. I used Twitter like in my early days. Yeah, it was Twitter I used, and it was on
Ah,
Twitter I got contacted from. I was really shocked at that very moment. Like I've been hearing stories about it, but I did not expect it to be like coming from. Yeah,
okay.
I know that was my
S-
first full time job. My first full time, apart from gigs on the other end. Yeah,
oh,
my first full time was on Twitter. I got contacted. Yeah.
nice. So I would assume that you'd probably create designs on Dribble and you'd share on Twitter, like I created this, I designed that, maybe with case studies and all those terms in the design field, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did that personally, yeah. And
Nice.
I share links on Twitter. People get to see, wow, who is like this guy? Like we love to
Okay.
have him on our team and all. So yeah, it was something I did
Nice.
and I was quite very, very happy that I did that because it
Oh,
was a mind changing for me. Yeah.
oh, nice. So, you believe that it was more of the putting yourself out there on social media, or do you think it was also because of the? I mean, I know the two played a part; they complemented each other. But was it the community part or the building and sharing on Twitter that you feel did more of
Yeah,
the
so what I would say is it wasn't I would say maybe what did more is like the building and putting myself out there that actually did more. The community part was just to put like a image or something, just to addition and all.
okay.
But I mean, people get jobs by just not even putting themselves out there.
Mm,
By as long as they are building stuff and showing
yeah.
people, and people can know that this is what they do. But yeah, but I was able to build stuff, and at the same time, in addition, I was able to put myself out there for people to actually know that yes, this is what this guy is really good at what he does, and all. So
Okay.
yeah, I guess that's what helped me. I know.
In terms of communities, were you forming communities or you were joining existing communities?
No, I wasn't forming. Like I'm a newbie. I don't know anything. So I was joining existing community. Yeah, people that are very, very good at this level. So I had to like join them because they are more experienced than me and they get me to that position where I can set
Mm,
myself right for job opportunities. And this was a very interesting one because I never thought it could work. Yeah, but it did.
yeah. So I know we are just still on one question, but
Yeah, right.
these communities were they like official communities, like maybe Facebook days or Google that, or was it just like maybe you see a group of friends into design and then you just hey I want to learn, or well it's two questions. The first one is what kind of communities were these? Was it just group of people or it was official communities? And then the second question is how did you join the community? Was there a registration form? Or did you reach out to somebody in the community and say I want to join? Like you can just give answers to these two questions.
Okay, that's fine. So it was like the first question is what kind of community, right? So the kind of community basically I guess it was mixture because of group of friends and the other one was actually official because it's something that people actually know and know.
Okay.
So and it was just mixture and all. So official Google, we have the Lauren guys, we have an secretary, so and some group of friends that actually just put me through and all. So the second question was, do I have to like, did I feel a form? From my end, I did not feel any form. I just reached out to someone that I knew. I guess it was really the early days when product design wasn't really as popular as this. People just have
Okay.
to like build a community and something. So I just reached out to a couple of people. They reached out. They got back to me and they're like, "Yeah, you can join us." And all. I was really happy because I remember my first group that I joined was on my birthday. Yeah, my first community, like design community, was on my birthday, and
Uh
I was really, really happy because, well, that was like a big thing for me.
oh,
So yeah,
nice. Nice. What was the question that was in my head? If somebody wants to join these communities now, do you think it's something that would be easy, straightforward? Of course, I know you have probably built some more personal communities and people cannot just join, but for the public ones, would it be easier for somebody who is new in design to join these communities?
yeah, very, very like definitely.
Nice.
But yeah, it's very, very easy for them.
Well, I think number one task is that after this video, then you can probably just share me some of the communities
Communities,
and
yeah,
I can probably write it in the video description or when I'm creating a summary for this video so that
all
people
right,
can
definitely,
check it out. So yeah,
yeah,
we have
yeah,
been
yeah.
on the third question for a while. Let's jump to the fourth question. So the fourth question is how was your experience getting your first job? What was different? So basically the question here is you finally got this first job, probably signed a form, NDA or whatever. But how was it when you got in? Did you feel like, wow, design is actually easy? Or when you got in, did you feel like, wow, there's literally so many things I don't know? And also, one specific question here is also your communication skills. Did you do well in terms of giving feedback, or did you have problems with working in a collaborative environment? So, yeah, how was your experience getting your first job?
So the experience basically was I felt overwhelmed, yeah, in the sense that now I finally gotten a job. Like this is
Mm.
a job. Now we are let's start working on stuff. I felt overwhelmed in the sense that like I haven't been in that kind of environment before. And it felt like the first week was really hectic for me in the sense that I don't know how to move from this direction to this other. But in terms of I was able to like reach out to my boss and like he chatted me and tell me that this is what to do, this is what to do and all. So I guess that actually guided me on through the path and all. And what was basically different, and different that I felt this feeling that I had a whole lot to learn.
Oh,
Yeah, I actually had a whole lot to learn. And yeah, I know that I've learned a whole lot, but putting it into the industry now, like in standard base, making it standard.
mm.
I felt like
Yeah,
that was what I needed to be grounded on. So when now and I get that feeling whereby where people say they are looking for job and other companies say they want like job experience and all, but I get to see that they are looking for those standard, yeah, and all. So what I'm just trying to say is that I feel like I didn't know anything, but at some point I got to blend in the sense that if you keep doing something every day, you get to
mm.
adjust to it, you get to master it, you get to know what's up, how it's going and all. So the
Okay.
third one, I guess, was how was my communication skills? Yeah, I was very shy, like I'm very shy. I'm a very shy person. So getting into product design really was telling myself that I want to break out of shyness. Because
Oh,
product design generally makes sure you communicate with people because if you want to solve a problem, you have to talk to people. And
yeah.
people actually you have to understand what they are trying to tell you and what they're trying to say. So yeah, communication skills, I was a bit shy at first, but on the long run, I got to blend it. Like I just have to improve. Like when you design an interface and you have to tell people to give you feedback and you have to be able to understand the feedback and go ahead
Yeah.
to iterate on that particular
Oh,
feedback. So those are like the things I have to like blend in. So eventually I did. I blend in, but it took me for a while, probably for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Or, no, it was actually like a month, but yeah, I blended. Yeah.
well, that was nice. I'm happy you were able to learn through the process too and also improve. So number five question is for that particular job. I feel like you may have already answered this a bit, but just to be explicit about the question, what part of your
Okay.
previous experiences do you think made that first job possible for you? Was it because you had design skills? Was it because you knew how to approach creating designs? You didn't just probably create it just like a general way, but maybe there was something really unique about your creation process, or I feel like this question has been answered, but then it's here.
Yeah.
What part of your previous experiences did you think made that first job possible for you?
Okay, so my experience basically was with freelancing jobs and all. So freelancing job which I did was having to design unique designs and something that's not really common and put it out there. I mean, I cannot just design something that is fine. I keep it in my own laptop and
Yeah,
close the laptop.
yeah,
Yeah. So I was able to like put myself out there. And I guess having to balance that particular social media and my personality in the sense that I had to let people know that this is what I'm capable of
mm,
and making sure people understand that this is the kind of pattern I do and this is the kind
yeah.
of trend I do. Yeah, and yeah, that was what I was able to do. And one thing I noticed in my trace, like the freelancing jobs when I started out, and all. So I'm a big lover of fintech products. Like I love fintech.
Okay.
So every time I go ahead to do fintech designs, and when I do fintech design, people reach out to me for probably a freelance job or a contract job, and I go ahead to do it and see post it out there. So this this was actually like a trace that people know that
Ah,
this guy is a fintech guy. And that
okay.
particular trace landed me my first job and was a fintech company as well. So yeah,
Okay.
so that was basically it for me.
So I think while I was asking this question, I felt like you had already answered it, but at the end of the answer, you showed me that yes, there was still more. So I think the
Yeah,
answer to this now is the previous experience you that made this job possible for you was you had design experience, which was there, and then you also were in the fintech space. So you have like learned and improved on how to make better fintech products, right?
exactly. Yeah,
Oh, nice. Yeah. I'm glad I asked because I'm not sure I would have
yeah.
gotten this answer.
Yeah, same
Question
here.
number 6. Is there anything going on in the chat section? Okay, nothing much yet. So, question number 6, did you meet all the requirements for the first full-time job? I know you said they reached out to you, but then was
Yeah.
there any formal job description like, hey, these are all the requirements, these are the experience we expect you to have before we bring you in? Was there anything like that?
Yeah, yeah, definitely there was, yeah. So, so let me just take note of that.
So if there was, did you meet all the requirements?
I did not. I'll be very honest. In the sense that when these guys reached out to me, like they've already done a job posting already, but they still go to people DM to reach out to them and all. But that
Uh,
job posting on the other end, before I even started off my like before I even applied for jobs, I always go ahead to read the job description, like always
mm,
specify that am I up to standard to this? And if
mm,
I'm not up to standard, I guess like I have to like do more, like work towards that norm. But
yeah.
yeah, I was able to like meet all the requirements for that my first job, but I was able to like reach some reasonable amount of it. Yeah, I was able to reach like a reasonable amount of it. And
I
on the long run, getting into the job, got to get myself blended in all the requirements parts because on the long run, I was able to like understand
mm.
everything explicitly, and it was very very smooth for me. Yeah,
So, when you saw the requirements, even though they had already reached out to you, you believed that you knew enough for the
yeah,
job.
exactly. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Now,
Okay.
one thing
Sorry.
about me is confidence. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Okay, one thing about me, I would say that I was just confident. I would say I was just confident, despite the fact that I was shy, but I was confident because there's no way to do or die stuff. Because I know that, yeah, I'm going to do it and definitely I will learn on it. Yeah, that was it.
Who sabi don't sabi.
You get
Okay. Question number 7. How was your approach when applying to jobs? So, how did you structure your cover letters? And I think I already asked this before. Did you reach out to recruiters on LinkedIn? Or how was just your process whenever you wanted to apply to jobs?
yeah. So like I do a lot of like before I even got that job, my first job. Before I got my second job, like I've been doing like a lot of applications, and also how did I do it? Like write my CV and be specific on the field I actually want to go for. Like I said, I'm a lover of fintech, and it's rare on very rare occasions you'll see me applying for jobs that are not relating to fintech.
Mm,
And on my portfolio, most of my most of the product I have there that is based on my portfolio are relating to fintech stuff and it aligns to fintech. So these are like stuff I look out for when applying. So I'm applying for a fintech job, and yes, they already understand that I have a background in fintech because my previous company was a fintech, and now I'm applying for another fintech, and they already get to see product I've worked on that are fintech.
yeah.
So on my portfolio, and this basically these are like stuff I looked out out and did differently basically. And I was able to like structure my CV in the way that portrayed me as a fintech product designer essentially.
Mm, mm.
So yeah,
Okay, so yeah, your approach to applying to jobs was you included your fintech product that or project that you had worked on. You included them in your portfolio. In your portfolio, do you mean your website or maybe your Dribble profile?
yeah, mixture of both. I mean, but
Okay,
basically,
so
I have my website. Yeah,
and then you also make sure to structure your CV or your resume to portray you as a fintech product designer.
exactly. Yeah,
Uh, I feel
because
like that's
I
actually
read.
sorry.
Okay, go on.
No, go on.
Yeah, just saying that I just structured my way there, that pattern, that particular pattern. Yeah. So yeah,
I feel like that's
go
actually very strategic because you're like, I want to work in fintech and look at my resume. It's all fintech, just what you want. And it's not a
yeah,
mix of, okay, I've worked in e-commerce, I've worked in,
man,
I mean, even when it's a mix,
health tech,
some companies may like the fact that, oh, you have explored different things. But I think it's
things.
also
Yeah,
a strategic way to show a company that, look, I'm all about fintech and you are fintech.
okay.
So
Tech,
what are you waiting for?
waiting for grab me.
But
Yeah,
that's nice. I think the key thing to pick from there is whenever you want to apply, that this is for the audience. Whenever you want to apply to a job, you can try. This is one thing that worked for Victor. You can also try to really put yourself as somebody who the company needs. So if you are applying to uh, an e-commerce based company, then you can select the part of your experience that applies to e-commerce, the projects that you have worked on that are e-commerce, and maybe in your
exactly.
resume you
Yeah,
can include all those ones at the top, like, hey, I built this e-commerce
yeah,
this, I work with the client e-commerce, and then if you want, you can now put the other experience down, which is less
yeah.
prioritized. So yeah, that's really a key thing, and I'm really glad that you shared it. And the last question on my list here is um but before I ask the question, I want to first ask, when you were applying for jobs, did you receive so many rejections to the point of burning out?
Yeah, I did.
So
So okay, so why I said I did, yeah, because when you get to some particular stage in an interview,
mm,
and probably like the final stage, and you get rejected there,
mm,
there is this, there is this, there is this stuff that happens to your head, like to mentally just get drained, like so you have to go and start this process again with another company from emerging
uh,
companies that has five process and now go
mm.
to start from ground zero again, then reach to the final stage and hopefully you get to that. So yeah, I was quite burnt out at some point. Like sometimes get first application with just my CV, I get rejected and all. Sometimes the
uh,
recruiter level I get rejected and all. So it's something that happens and I've already had gotten that used to it and all. So yeah.
So the main question now is, how did you handle burnout after receiving this couple of rejections? Did you like take maybe 1 month leave from applying to jobs, or like the previous like Victor said in the last part, did you just cry in the night and wake up in the morning with the spirit of, okay, let's keep hustling? But how did you handle it?
Hmm. Handling it is people handle it in different ways, yeah. But applying for applying for different jobs, probably 50 jobs or 100 jobs, I know, and get rejected in all. And handling that kind of thing, how I did is I get their feedback and get to understand that this is where I'm at fault here. This is where I'm
Mm,
having issues with. And I went back to like work on those particular areas that I had
mm,
issues with. Then we just I'm looking for the job. It's me that's looking for a job. Like nobody will beg me to get. So
yeah.
I have to like get that energy back by myself, find the motivation between myself to like go ahead to apply for the job again. So making sure I get those feedback, like I make use of
Mm.
those feedback from my previous interviews that I did. And
Uh,
one thing I've noticed, like this is a trace, like one thing I've noticed so far I did is those feedback that I got from people actually helped me with my next interview because I was able to apply those feedback and all. So even though I didn't get to this stage, I passed this other stage and all. Probably for the first interview that I did, I got rejected and they dropped some feedback for me. I went to my next interview. I cannot be at that particular position again because
mm,
I've already know what they
nice.
are expected of me and all. So I was able to like digest those feedback and really enjoy myself. But yeah, sometimes I go on break, not like long break because I mean want the job you get.
Yeah.
So so yeah, but yeah, pretty much that's what I did and it was really, really helpful for me.
So your own way of handling burnout after rejections is to avoid that rejection in to have how do I put it? To
Taking the
avoid the
rejection,
reason for that rejection in your
exactly.
next interview.
Ex- exactly. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, nice. And then you also take breaks too, because rejection sometimes just makes you feel like this job
Yeah.
should rest more. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice. That's all the questions I have here. And to summarize, you told us a bit about yourself and the work that you do. It sounded like a whole lot. So you just told us that you're a product designer and you create designs. And before your first full time job, you were working mostly as a freelancer and you did a bit of freelancing as a front end developer. And but you did more of freelancing as a um, you did more of freelancing as a
Product
designer.
designer. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And then of course you did free designs too. And then what you did differently that helped you get your first job was you were very active, you were putting yourself out there, letting people know the kind of things that you work on, who you are, your role and all of those things. And on as a minor or as a secondary part, you also try to involve yourself in communities, which you also still used as a medium to put yourself out there. And
Exactly. Yeah.
your experience getting your first job was it was overwhelming. You felt like there were so many things to learn, and it was a new environment, a collaborative environment where you were not on your own terms. But thanks to your manager, like you said, reaching out to him and asking questions, he was able to is he a he or a she?
He basically.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he was able to guide you. And what part of your previous experience you think made this job possible for you? So you said the fact that you were a designer, and then the fact that you were also involved in the fintech space
Exactly.
made you
Yeah.
like you were able to pitch yourself this way
So
to
exactly.
companies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know the reason why I love this series is you really get to hear new things. Even me, I get to hear new things. Like when I was coming
Yeah.
up with this question, this previous experience, I didn't even think about what you shared. So it's also new for me. And thank you
Yeah.
once again for sharing. And also, I asked,
Okay.
did you meet all the requirements of the job? And you said you didn't, but you were confident enough that the number of requirements that you met was really enough for you to do well in the job. And your approach to applying to jobs was that what did you say about the approach? Okay, you said you're able to really structure your CV and your portfolio to show that you are a fintech person, somebody who has grown in the
Exactly.
fintech space, and
Yeah.
is worth going into another fintech space. And for burnout, after receiving rejections, your means of handling that was to basically avoid the reason for that rejection in the next interview. So basically
Exactly. Yeah.
reiterating on feedback and improving yourself over time. Oh,
Yeah.
these are really nice tips, Victor. These are answers I didn't even prepare for. I mean, writing these questions, I can already imagine that okay, maybe this person experienced this, experienced that, but these are like new things. And thank you for sharing all of that. So uh, we're done with the questions, And with the little time we have, we'll be taking questions from the comment section. And if you have any questions for Victor, product design related, how he got his first job, then this is your time to ask, or you remain silent and hold your peace. Well, going through the comment section, I think the one question so far is, what is your Twitter handle?
Yeah, Victor Nazi underscore.
Victor, I'll just get the link. Victor Nazi. Victor Nazi underscore. So this is Victor's Twitter handle, and I have pasted it in the chat section. And I'm going to give few minutes for more questions. And I mean, if there are no questions, then I think we're done with the live stream. But this was actually nice. I really love the tips that you shared.
Yeah,
It's always nice hearing new things and new ways of how
yeah,
people
yeah.
approach job applications. So questions. I think initially we had over 10 people live streaming, but now it's less than five. It's two, three. It's like juggling between three to five. So we don't
Yeah.
have so many people. But if you're watching this as a playback, like as something that as an ended live stream, then you can
Sure,
also
yeah.
paste your questions in the video comments. And if those are things I can answer, I would answer. If those are things that I would have to reach out to Victor, then I can also reach out to him and get his answers and paste them. So even if you are not watching live, you can ask your questions whenever you're watching this. So there are still no questions so far, probably 1 minute more. But Victor, is there anything you'd love to share? Maybe in something that is not part of these questions, but you just feel like it's nice to have knowledge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like, so I don't know. I know it's been said repeatedly and all, but as a designer or as anybody in tech, basically, just make sure you put yourself out there. Make
Mm,
sure people know that this is what you can do. Make carry your market in your head. I mean,
mm,
that was what brought me to this level. And I'll be very honest with you. If you keep hiding yourself, people will not really know what you can do. I know it works. It works in different ways for other people,
mm,
but this is like the fastest and the surest way that have been working. Like
mm,
people know Dillion here as a content creator, like because he's putting himself out there. If he doesn't put out content, nobody will know he's a content creator.
mm,
So that's one tip I'll say. And make sure you have a good portfolio as well, because left for putting yourself out there, people want to actually say, is your work good enough for me to give you
mm,
this job? Is your work good enough? So make sure you have a solid portfolio and make sure be welcoming to feedback, like negative, positive, all feedback, but just know the feedback you get to and digest it. And because some feedback can break you and some feedback can make you. So
yeah,
you just have to be good and follow your heart. Yeah. I guess that's all from me. Yeah.
nice. Thank you so much for that. I think we have one question. Um, so somebody said, I'm still trying to come out of my shell. I feel like I'm still very much behind. Uh, don't feel like you're very much behind. The truth is, so many of us, we still have so many things to learn.
It's
Even
not,
me,
it's not.
sometimes I get overwhelmed. Like this front end space is not even ending. So don't feel like you're left behind. But trying to come out from your shell, don't force it. Don't feel like Victor has said this. I must do it if I want to get my job. But just allow it come freely, as gradually um as you can do it. And just regardless of the design you do, I mean, that's if you're a designer or whatever field, regardless of what it is, just try to just come out a little bit. You can even come out by first reaching out to people privately, though I won't really recommend that, because when you post something on Twitter, for example, you reach out, it goes out to many people. At least there's a chance of many people seeing it. But if you send it to just one person and you're waiting for feedback from that one person, it may take a while because, of course, many people have different responsibilities in life. So
responsibility to me. Yeah.
if you don't know how to really come out, you can try the private method, and hopefully people respond to you on time. But you can also take a shot sometimes and just be like, "Hi guys, so I did this design. I would love." I know I'm focusing on design because, of course, it's a design related talk. But you can just come and be like, "Hi guys, I did this design and I would love your review. This is my first design. This is my second design. I'm still learning all of those things." And I know there are people who can be anyhow on Twitter who don't want to be like, "What's this?" But yeah, those kind of people exist, so you should know that they exist. But there are definitely people who would want to, highlight the good things you did in your design and also inform you of the things that can be improved. So yeah, that's that for that. And then the question says, I mean, you have the skills but no job experience yet. How can you pitch yourself into the real world to develop these skills further? I'm not sure I get this question.
Hmm. How do you sure you pitch yourself to get what? To get
Okay.
this job.
So I think what the person is saying is maybe you have these skills as a product designer, for example, but then
Okay.
you do not have job
Work
experience.
experience.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
how do you pitch yourself into the real world to develop these skills further?
Okay, so one thing I'll say is the method I used was putting myself out there. I was just posting, posting, posting. But there are other techniques which I'll give and I've seen that works for people and all. So you know you're a product designer, you know you are very good at what you do, you know you have the
Mm,
skills, but you don't have job experience. So you can reach out to recruiters. I mean, you can go to their DM and message them, highlighting your skills, your years of experience, trying to convince them that this is what I can do and all,
mm,
that they should just give you this chance for an interview for you to be able to prove yourself and all. So yes, you can. And share them a link of your portfolio. And if that's good enough, definitely they'll reach out to you. And if they are not the direct hiring manager, they can now say this guy confident. I actually like it, and I actually like the speech you wrote. And I would love to forward this your message to the recruiting manager. And I guess those are like things that we'll look out for. It might be very little, but trust me,
mm,
this can go a long way. And yeah, very soon you just see that you're hired because
mm.
you're able to like reach out to this particular person. And all. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's something you can try. And in addition to what Victor has said, I would also say that so there's this guy, is he Adeola Lagos? I cannot remember his name on Twitter, but when I went through this guy's website, I think this is something I should even share as much as I can because it was so great. When I went through this guy's website, he's a front-end developer, not really a designer, but he had so many real life projects. Like the project, if you see the project, you'd actually think this project is
It's
in
live,
production. People are
sure,
using
and
it.
it's working.
Exactly. But it's just
Yeah,
demo. All of the data that you'll be seeing, he built an
yeah.
e-commerce, I think a
I think
food
I know
ordering. Yeah,
Adeola JS. Adeola JS.
yeah.
Thank
So I
you.
think he had a food ordering app. He had an e-commerce one. I think there were like three or four like that. And when you go to the website, you think these are real products. All of them had beautiful animations. I love the
Shots, like
animations.
it was so fine.
Exactly. But all of these products were not real. Now, as a recruiter, if I go to his portfolio, I already feel like, wow, these are nice. Of course,
Nice.
it's not wrong to build maybe a to-do list app or all of these other kind of
Yeah,
very popular apps. But when you are able to show recruiters that I can also build big things like this,
things
it's also
exactly. Yeah,
nice. So I'm saying this like even if you don't have job experience, the skills that you have as a designer you can use it to actually push yourself to the real world space. You can try to make case studies for e-commerce
Exactly.
platform, for social media platforms, all of these
Uh,
case study are like, so Twitter is this, Twitter doesn't have this recording, and then I added
exactly.
this
You
feature.
can just come on, create a case studies from it.
Exactly. I've
I
seen
mean,
so many
like
things.
somebody do tell me that you want to build a case study. It's very easy. Like use a lot of app on your phone today. Like
Mm,
look at that specific particular app that you don't like something about, and trying to add a feature to it. And like that's the easiest route to follow. And you can just create a case study from that. Like pitch yourself out there and like this is what I did, and I think this is it. So case studies are just documenting your stories, like the process you did and everything you
yeah.
did in the whole process. And all. So yeah, pretty much. I guess that's just it.
You can drag yourself to the real world. Yeah, you're basically
Oh,
dragging yourself to the real world to explore the
dragging,
real world
yeah,
until you get that opportunity. And then when you get that opportunity, you get to, learn more of the real world and
what
things like that. So it's still basically practicing and putting yourself
self.
out there. That's how you develop your skills. So yeah, it's almost time, and I don't think we'll be able to take any more question. And if you witnessed the interruption at the beginning, I am sorry once again. It was totally unplanned, and this is live, so it was like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? And then I was having the phone call on the video, and I was like, wait, I can actually turn off my video. It was just so many things. But yeah, I'm sorry once again about the interruption, and either you're watching this live or you're coming back to watch this again. I really hope there are so many tips you can pick from this. And in the video description and on my website, I'll also be writing a summary of this conversation, like I did for my last video. So if you don't want to go through all the whole talk of 1 hour, you can just go through the summary. In the summary, I would do my best to pick those tips that were like very valuable. But yeah, we have come to the end of this. For those who joined, for those who left and joined again, for those who was in the live stream all through, thank you so much for encouraging us to keep talking, and also for your engagement in the chat section. So thank you once again, Victor. I know I've said this so many times, but
It was
having this
always a
with
pleasure.
you, it was I still even got to like learn new things, and I know these are things that can really help people out there to secure that first full-time job that we all want to secure, make money, grow, develop
Definitely
ourselves, be
get
promoted
the
from
industrial
junior to
experience.
mid to
Exactly.
seniors, and just to be very good in our fields. So thank you once again for joining us. My name is Dillion. This is Victor Onazi, product designer. I would also share his Twitter in the video description, so you can also tell him thank you. You can send him money if that is how you know how to say thanks. But yeah,
Yeah.
thank you guys. And now I also want to add, I wanted to commit to making this thing a weekly series, but with the fact that many of us have different things we're doing, I'm not really sure. But one thing I would always do is whenever I am sure of a part coming up, maybe a weekend, I would definitely inform. I'll post it on Twitter or maybe on LinkedIn just to inform you guys. But I'm just trying to say, as much as I would want to do this thing every weekend, don't if you don't see it any weekend, don't be surprised. But I'll definitely keep you guys informed. Thank you once again. Thank you, Victor. You guys have a great
Yeah.
rest of your day or a great night.